Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, Dying to DIY. For those of you that are new here, my name is Camaro and thank you guys so much for stopping by and spending a little bit of your time with me. It means so much to me. Also, if you guys are coming from Shayna's, Savannah's, or Melissa's channels, hi and welcome. I'm so glad to have you guys here as well. So I decided to do a couple of very neutral farmhouse type of Valentine's Day decor, which is really fun. But before I jump into that and get to all the crafting, I do have a couple of important pieces of information to share with you guys, because this is a collab video, so it's going to be me and 3 other amazing women and DIYers. We have Shayna with Robinson Repurposing, Savannah with Savvy Crafts with Savannah, and Melissa with All Things Crafty. And if you guys have been here for a while, then you might have seen our last collab video together, which was around Christmas time, and that one was just so fun and we loved doing that for you guys. So we decided, you know, hey, let's do a Valentine's themed video. So here we are. We have decided to do a giveaway for this collab video. So yay! All of their information will be listed down below in my description box. You guys just want to make it all the way around to each of our videos and our channels and make sure that you comment on each of our videos. That is how you will be entered into each of our giveaways. It could be as simple as just a really cute, fun emoji, or just to say hey, or, you know, let us know which of our crafts that you really enjoyed. So it can be anything you would like, just as long as you comment on all of our videos. The giveaway will run for an entire week starting today, January 22nd, and it will end on January 29th, so Friday to Friday. And what is really cool about this giveaway, it's not like one big giveaway. You have a chance to win a prize on each of our channels, so that is really cool. So 4 chances, 4 different prizes. For my prize, I chose to give you guys the choice between a $25 Amazon gift card, or I can Venmo you or Cash App you the $25 if that's what you choose to do. So we can discuss that when the time comes. Alright, so I think that is all of the important information that I have to share with you all. I didn't leave anything out. At least I hope not. But anyways, that is it. So let's jump right into it. Alright guys, for this first project, I will be going in with this Dollar Tree Valentine's sign. I will be using the back of this sign. I then go in and pick out a calendar page from this Simply Blessed calendar, which is from Dollar Tree as well. I chose the one that says Love Never Fails. Has a Valentine's type of theme, but it's also neutral and subtle enough to be like super farmhousey. I started by taking the jute twine hanger and the sticker off of the back of the board. I then went in with some Mod Podge and I gave it an all-over thick coat. Once I had the back of that sign nice and coated, I just took that calendar page and tried to smooth it out as best I could across the entire board. It did have some ripples and stuff, which I didn't really mind because honestly I was going for a more worn vintage type of look, I guess antique type of look, so the ripples weren't really a problem to me. Next, I just took my X-Acto knife and just cut off the excess pieces of calendar. I then went in with like an 80 grit, maybe 60 grit sandpaper, and I just started roughing up the edges a little bit. I then go in with a more like a finer grit sandpaper, and I just do that all over. Like I said, I wanted to give it a worn antique type of look. Next, I went in with my Waverly wax, and I just started going around the edges a little bit with my chip brush. I really wanted to get all into those grooves, just around the edges where I had all those distressed marks. This brown Waverly wax really helps give it that look that it's, you know, worn and kind of aged. You know, so I just kind of did that until I was really happy with it. It's more of like a personal preference type of thing. Once I had the wax into like the edges and the corners and such, I took a smaller paintbrush and I just followed where those like the scalloped insets kind of are on the board all the way down. I did like a darker line with that wax, and then I just wiped it off because I wanted to give it the look and the illusion that it was like faux wood or like a shiplap type of look. I also used that fine grit sandpaper just to sand along those lines that I made, just to really, you know, accentuate the worn, distressed look. And after I was happy with, you know, all the wax and the sanding and whatnot, I did take the white Waverly chalk paint and I just kind of gave it like an all over type of whitewash type of look with my chip brush. I just wanted to brighten it up a little bit. Once I was happy with that, I did take my Mod Podge again and just gave it an all over coat on the top. And here's how it looked after all of those steps were completed. It is still a little bit on the darker side. I do go in later on and add a little bit more of that white Waverly chalk paint just to brighten it up a little bit more. It was still a little too dark for my liking. Next, I went in with some raw wooden beads from Michaels, and I just picked out, you know, one larger one and then 8 kind of like medium-sized ones. I took that same hanger that it came with and I just found the holes and punctured through that, and I strung on my wooden beads and then strung it through to the other side. It was a little bit long, you know, for my liking. I didn't really like it too long, so I kind of measured out where I wanted it and just glued it down on the back so that it would stay into place. Okay guys, and here is how that one turned out. You can see that it's definitely a lot more, you know, brighter than its original look. I really just love it. It really has that Valentine's type of feel, but definitely very neutral and farmhousey, which I really love. I think this one turned out so great. For my next project, I went in with this Dollar Tree heart-shaped wreath, and I just started by taking my tin cutters, and I wanted to cut out each of the individual sizes of the hearts. So I just cut around all those like center type of pieces that were holding the hearts together. And then I went in with my multi-purpose tool and just kind of rocked those prongs back and forth till I was able to get each of them off. This process is kind of more tedious and time consuming. You just want to go as slow as you possibly need because you don't want to break apart those hearts. They will come apart on you, and I did have a problem with the larger heart breaking off. It did come apart and I thought I could mend it back together. You know, having to mend 1 or 2 areas is okay, but not having to mend, you know, 4 or 5. So I kind of gave up on that larger heart piece and I just stuck to the medium size and the smaller one. I did try to play around with some of the pieces of that larger heart, thinking I can make like a cute little arrow, you know, kind of like Cupid's arrow shooting through the hearts. But I, ultimately decided against that. I did go in with another like brand new heart-shaped wreath. I thought I could get the bigger heart off of that one, but I still had the same problem. It kept breaking apart. So I kind of regrouped and went into a different direction. I decided that I would use 2 of the smaller sized hearts and then that medium sized heart. So once I got that apart, I just went in again and took off those prongs just because they're kind of dangerous. You don't want to hurt yourself and get caught or snagged on them. So once I had everything off, I just kind of played around with the positioning of the hearts. I didn't know if I wanted them kind of like in a diagonal slanted type of look or straight across. I ultimately chose to have them straight across. So once I figured out the placement and stuff, I went in with that white Waverly chalk paint and I gave each of them an all-over coat of paint. So here are all the hearts nice and painted. They look so pretty, painted all white. Next, I went in with this burlap sheet from the 99-cent only store. I wanted to give the larger heart kind of a background. So I just glued that heart on top of the burlap sheet. I started at the bottom point of the heart and just worked my way all the way up. I just wanted to be able to pull that burlap nice and tight with each section that I glued. Once I had the heart glued down on the front, I did flip it over and added more hot glue on the back. I just wanted to make sure everything was nice and sturdy and going to stay into place. After that, I just had to trim off all of the excess burlap. Alright, and since we are about halfway through, I do want to mention again that this is a collab video with a giveaway, and in order to be entered into our giveaway, you just have to comment on all 4 of our videos. Alright, so after I had that burlap glued down, I just decided that I wanted it to be a little bit brighter. So I went in again with the Waverly white chalk paint and gave it an all over wishy-washy coat of paint. Next, it was just time to figure out the placement and glue each of these hearts together. So I definitely wanted mine straight across. I tried to glue the smaller hearts towards like the middle section of that larger heart, and I just glued it on to the back side, and then I kind of flipped it over and just added some more hot glue just because I wanted to make sure everything was nice and stable. So my last and final step for this project was to just go in with some greenery, and I added a couple of white roses here and there. This part is just all about personal preference. I just added these flowers and such where I thought they would look really good and really pretty. Alright guys, and here you have it. This one is absolutely gorgeous. I love this one so much. I am such a big fan. I really love the choices of, florals and greenery that I picked. It just really, the hearts give it that Valentine's feel, but then you have the neutral and subtle colors that just really bring that farmhouse look to life. I absolutely love this one. For my last project, I went in with this scrap piece of wood that I've had on hand for a while. I originally stained it and then just gave it an all over white coat of paint and then distressed it with some sandpaper. Next, I'm going to be going in with this Dollar Tree love sign. I start by cutting off that jute twine hanger, and then I go in with the white Waverly chalk paint and just kind of give it an all over, again, wishy-washy type of paint job. Just not covering every square inch, and just kind of lightly glazing over it. I did on the front try to go in the same direction. That is just a personal preference. Then I went in with that brown Waverly wax, and I do the same thing with my chip brush, just give it an all over type of look, going in the same direction. But then I go back over with the white Waverly, and I kind of keep doing this pattern and technique until I'm happy with the look. I do try to keep that brown Waverly wax on the outer edges of each of the letters. I just wanted it to give kind of like an outline type of look without being too much. So once I was happy with that, the look of it, I did go in with my E6000 hot glue combo, and I just glued it onto the bottom where it was going to be touching that scrap piece of wood. I did glue it at an angle, which you will see why here in a second. Here is how those pieces look together. So cute. I really love that aged vintage feel. But the fun doesn't stop there. I went in with this Dollar Tree jar and these Dollar Tree like wooden hearts. I took out the one that is like a natural color. I went in with that white Waverly chalk paint again and did kind of the same type of technique that I did on that love sign, where I just took the wax and kind of lightly brushed it. Then I went back over with some white, back with some brown wax, until I was just happy with that look. So for this next part, I really thought I was recording, and I guess I wasn't, but I did go in with my hot glue and I just glued it onto the back of that little heart that was already on the jar. Because that heart says love and so does the sign, I just didn't want it to be too repetitious with the word love. So I glued it onto the back side, and now this way I have a choice if I wanted to say love or just be on that really cute heart side. Next, I went in with this candle that was from Halloween time, and I just went in my kitchen and I got a big pot of water and I slowly started melting it down. I wanted to add it into that little Dollar Tree jar because I just thought it would look so cute as a candle. This process took me about 45 to 50 minutes because I just did it really, really slow. I probably could have turned up the heat a couple of notches and it would have went a lot faster. So once I had everything melted down, I just took out that wick from the larger candle and placed it into the jar, and then I poured in the candle wax to the jar. And to speed things up, I placed the little jar into my fridge just so everything would cool, fairly quick. Once everything was cool, I just took it out and I cut down the wick just to a more reasonable size. And here you go. This is how the little candle turned out. Way too cute. So I was originally going to leave the love sign as is, but I decided to add like a little greenery wreath onto the O, just to add to that farmhouse feel. And here is how this project turned out. So beautiful. I really love this one so much. I just really like how I glued the love sign at a slant, so it gives you that space at the end. You can add a candle, you can add a vase with some flowers, just maybe like a cute little knick-knack. Yes, I really love this one so much. Alright guys, well, here is kind of one last look at all of the projects that I made for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I really had a lot of fun making these. I think they all turned out so good. They have that Valentine's feel, but they're definitely neutral and subtle enough that you can use for everyday home decor, which I personally really love. They really have that nice natural farmhouse feel as well. Just the perfect combo together. Anyways, don't forget to enter the giveaway and make sure you make it around to all of our videos. Good luck, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!